For the past 6 months, I've been secretly working on what I believe to be the next 9-figure home services brand, and it's in a niche that you've probably never even heard of. This is a boring business meets high growth opportunity that I'm bootstrapping from 0 to 9 figures, and we're going to talk about the business model, the licensing, how it all works. It is a scalable white glove installation model. And we've already had billion-dollar manufacturers knocking at our door wanting this service. And in this video, I'm going to show you why the window treatment industry is ripe for a takeover, how this business runs lean without any crews on payroll, and how 30 licenses are going to quietly blanket the US before private equity comes calling. Let's get into it. It's going to be a fun one today. So the window treatment industry itself is actually quite a large industry. And if you're not familiar with window treatments, they're custom products. Average order value can be anywhere from like $2,000 all the way up to $50,000 if you're doing your whole house. It's all custom to the homeowner's home, to their style. There's all types of products for privacy, for design, for aesthetics, for enhancing the home. And homeowners pay a lot of money for this, right? And so the model that we've created is actually being the installation partner or the preferred installer for resellers, showrooms, franchises, the works. And the biggest issue is when you're selling these types of products to homeowners, you've got a lot of moving parts, right? You've got the lead gen, you've got the sales, you've got the purchasing, you've got the actual receiving, because everything's custom, right? So it's getting created by the manufacturer. You've got the actual installation, and there's just quite a lot of things going on where you can't be good at everything. And if you're a small, franchise, if you're like a, 1 to 3 person team, it's very hard to scale past 400, maybe 500K a year. If you want to have $1 million window treatment reselling business, then you're going to need to hire people. And when you're hiring installers, there's a lot of mistrust in the market, and there isn't enough installation talent, meaning there aren't enough installers to fill the demand for installation. And so what we came up with is a business model that is basically done for you installation. And it's white label and it's white glove. So rather than wondering if you can actually fulfill for your customer, you partner with an undercover installer's location in your city and you pass them the installations and they do the installations on your behalf so that all you have to do is focus on this part of the process, your lead gen, your sales, and your purchasing. And once you purchase, then you can send the products to undercover installers. Undercover installers will send out a crew, and it is a 2-person crew in a van, and we complete the installation for you. And that's it. That's basically the model. So there's no bottleneck in hiring, and there's no management, and there's no training. Now, from a standpoint of undercover installers, there's kind of a couple key concepts here on how we make money. And the first one is at the local level. So we don't have anybody on payroll. We license the model to owner-operators and the owner-operator, and it is pretty simple. We recommend a $500 job minimum, but it's quoted based on the job. So based on how many products, what type of products. So it's based on market rates. If you've got a whole house that you have to have done and there's 30 windows, then you're going to be quoting based on that job size and based on what's being installed versus, one window that may not meet the minimum based on market rates, but it's a standard 500 job minimum because we're basically doing everything for you from receiving to getting that 5-star customer review. And we recommend 2 jobs a day or 10 jobs a week or 40 jobs a month. And at a $500 minimum, you're looking at $20K right out the gate. And once you have partners that trust you and like your work and know that you can do the installs, then this is a recurring sticky service. because there just isn't enough qualified talent that actually knows how to do a good job, that's reliable, that's clean, that also won't steal the reseller's customers. And Undercover Installers is the only brand that isn't a reseller. So we don't have the ability to steal their customer because we're not in the business of being an authorized reseller. We're in the business of helping resellers get their products installed so that they can grow their business and that they can scale to the next level. So we're helping the resellers in the window treatment space, the showrooms, the dealers, the franchises, go from mid six figures to seven figures purely by taking care of their delivery and their fulfillment. So that is why we are the preferred option in this market, and why I think right out the gate, we have a really good chance of scaling this to mid eight figures to nine figures later with private equity. And I'm going to show you that model that we're working on right now. So basically, we're looking at 20K MRR, and we're looking at, 240,000 a year. And honestly, it's going to be higher than this because this is only at the $500 job minimum. Some installs may be $1,500 or $2,000 or even $5,000 if you've got, a whole house that needs to be done. So this is on the low end. And I would say on the high end, you could probably surpass 750,000 with one van if you're dealing with a lot of the higher end, full house, multi-room type jobs. So that is one van, okay? So unit economics, pretty cool. And at the local level, the way to get involved with this is to license the model from Undercover Installers. We'll talk more about licensing here in a minute. At a licensing level, we are going to curate our founding 30 license group, and it's a 75K buy-in, and it includes quite a lot of valuable things. The first one is being part of our network. So we already have billion-dollar manufacturers reaching out saying, hey, do you have somebody who can do installations for us in this state or in this city? And this is happening just about daily. We're getting inbound requests for partners in our partnership program. Essentially, what we do is we allow resellers to apply to partner with us. If we have a partner in their location, we forward that lead to our partner. The biggest part is just inbound lead. And then the second part is we've got basically everything ready to go. So you can start this business in 2 weeks. We've got the SOPs, we've got the models, we've got the branding, we've got how to partner with resellers. We've got all of that templatized. So then it's basically just execute it and start getting your first 5 to 10 partners. And then once you have that, then it's just perform excellent work. So getting the installations done and documented. A lot of what we do is quality control and making sure that the installations are done and using our method to grow your installation business so that you can run a $300,000 to $500,000 a year business with high margins, low overhead, no inventory, and make sure that you're partnering with locations that need the services. So that is the founding 30 license group. The plan now from the Undercover Installers HQ standpoint and how we get to 9 figures is in the licensing model, right? Okay, so a lot of what I do with Spin Dealer is come up with ways to create good unit economics, but then how do we replicate that across the network and create enterprise value that is worth it, right? So the unit economics are quite simple. We have our founding 30, and they're going to be paying $75K for a 3-year agreement. And it's a non-exclusive licensing agreement, meaning they have access within their location, but we can sell the license nationwide. So then that's $2.250 million in founding licenses, and we're going to use that to build our leadership team. And we're going to also use a portion of that to own the local, like high volume markets to partner with the billion-dollar brands. So for example, if we wanted to become the preferred installer for X, or insert major manufacturer here, like Hunter Douglas, then they're probably going to say, hey, we need you in Phoenix, Arizona. We need to know that you can handle, X number of jobs, because we can't say that you're a preferred partner unless we know for a fact you can execute. And in that case, it might be to our best interest to just own that location outright. And we already know that that location is going to do, basically $250,000 right out the gate, with probably 50% net margins or better. We might take, half of those founding licenses and carve out, a handful of key accounts and key cities that we want to own those locations ourselves. Okay. Let's just call it $2.5 million in revenue from the licensing. We also have infrastructure. So there's no royalties. There's no like fees per se, but we do take a rake on the payment processing, or the GMV, which is like the amount of money that goes through the system, which means we're collecting 3 to 5% of whatever they bill to their customer on that $500 plus minimum. At scale, we could be adding 3 to 5K across our portfolio. That's another $90,000 to $150,000 just because. So there's that side of it. And that also covers like our infrastructure, the cost of infrastructure. We also could have, backend services like bookkeeping, admin. And this is where it starts to get really interesting, because now we're acting like a roll up with a decentralized office. So there's some opportunities for 3K to 7K, plus services to keep the local location lean, but to also streamline all the necessary things that have to get done when you're running a business, like the admin, the bookkeeping, paperwork. So with that in mind, that would take us from, $2.5 million in revenue plus our systems and infrastructure. I'd imagine we could probably get anywhere from an 8 to 10x multiple on this, putting us at 20 to 25 million with the first 30 or so locations. And then we go and we just reinvest with our HQ locations. We get ourselves from 30, to 45, maybe 45, 50. And then at 50, what we would do is we would go private equity, pull out some money, de-risk, and then we would go, let's sprint to 100. And then we would have 100 of these in the network, processing millions of dollars across the network. And we would more than likely be close to that upper 8-figure, if not 9-figure valuation. So that is what we're working on right now. It's a super cool business model. We have 30 licenses. When they're gone, we're going to be taking a step back from licensing. It'll go to a wait list. So if this business model is something you are interested in and you want to get the spin, the application is in the description below. You need to have at least 6 figures liquidity. So if you don't have that, or you think that's a lot of money, then this isn't for you. But if you're somebody that's looking for a business that you can make mid 6 figures, potentially even 7 figures, depending on your market, then I'd go ahead and check that out. We're going to give you everything you need: the infrastructure, the CRM, our frameworks, the SOPs, the branding, the leads from these partners that are reaching out to us in our partner program. So we're awarding those 30 licenses right now. This is a market roll-up play, and don't wait. If you're interested in moving forward, go ahead and submit your application. That's all we have for today's spin. I'm Liz, the Spin Dealer. More episodes like this coming soon. Check out the vault below, and I'll see you next time.